snowfall to get a normal inflow to the reservoir.
Although we are a little wetter, right? The ground.
Yeah, I'll go over that here in a second. So again, now, so we look at, these are steps we go through. We look at these numbers from the gauges. We also look at the satellite information and composites, which is what's on the screen now. So the water that we're interested in is the water that's inside of this, sort of this bird's head or rooster head shape here. That's our Rio Grande Basin. Anything that's to the left of that, to the west of that, is in the Colorado Basin. So what we're looking at is the snow that is to the right of the solid line here. And you see last year, there's actually showing that there was more snow than this year in that picture too, just slightly. So it's there, that just correlates with the previous graph I showed you. So not a whole lot of difference. One thing that is, you know, we're showing farther south a little bit more of this gray area is basically in the dusting, you know, that work with it, the less snow, but it's got a pretty good, they have a trace to 1 inch. So that's important, because that's what you said, Art, was, hey, that's keeping the soil wet down to the area that we got to get through to get here. So to look at that, we look at what's called Palmer Drought Hydrologic Indice. Again, in this one, you're seeing the Rio Grande coming down through this area, and this is significantly improved from last year. So that's important. That's probably more important than the difference in the snow, that it appears that we'll have less losses coming through the watershed this year. So that's an important thing. Last year we had very high losses going through watershed, right? I mean, there were, but that could change with a few 90 to 100 degree days between now and June, so we'll have to see where we are in June. But right now, at least, we've got it is abnormally dry or none. You know, it is a little strange that I'm happy about only being abnormally dry. That's great. We don't have any wet on here. River is at this time of year starting to fall, you know, because none of the snow's melting. We'll get some early snow melt at low elevations as it warms up. So we don't have a whole lot of water in the river, but as I said, we're about 840 acre-feet per day. About 2 weeks ago, we were about 1,000 acre-feet per day, so it's already starting to drop off. We hope that as soon as we get some warm days, that should pick back up. We should get more low elevation snow should melt and start contributing.
Al, what was that, Ottawa 57%, what was that?
That's our share that we're looking to see below for the project. So the 57, it just happens to be the same as, you know, the number we use, 57 with EPCWID, but it's a different, comes about from a different calculation. Okay. And so, you know, we're seeing of Ottawa, we would hope to have at least 356 would be showing up, and, you know, what's showing up in the reservoir is 423, so we're in compliance. They're actually paying off a little of their debt. Not much, but a little. Then we go back to the same slide, we go over it again. It's only water and storage. So I talked about snowpack, we talked about watershed conditions. Snowpack's about the same, watershed's a little bit better, but we're not going to allocate that water based on what we're seeing there. We have to wait till it gets down to us before we can do that. Which brings us back to, if we were to allocate today, which we're not, but if we were to do an allocation, the only allocation we could give would be 15 inches and 3 irrigations. We anticipate water will continue to come into the reservoir, and that in May that we'll have more water to allocate, and we'll keep you advised on a month-by-month basis.
Okay.
Make sense? Anything you guys want me to add to the presentation or take away? Any slides you want me to delete?
No, that's pretty good. And you might want to show that 50% where they project, or maybe they'll get too excited over that.
Yeah, you know, those numbers, so on what's in the snow report that's out, the Publix too, that I produced with Dr. McCon, was NRCS, and I'm not trying to say, this isn't derogatory towards NRCS, I think they're doing the best job they can do. But there's one statistics, probability statistics, and there's one probability that I always like to remind everybody that on that forecast that it's wrong 90% of the time. Okay? Right. That's just the nature of statistics. So you can look at it and they say, hey, there's a 50% chance we'll get 300,000 acre feet between January and July, but that's wrong 90% of the time.
Hopefully it's more.
Lately, Robert can speak to us, our seat of the pants, or as Johnny would say, our TV forecast is, it always comes too late, right, Robert?
Yeah.
If there is gonna be an increase like you want, it'll be for next year. And it's just that when that snow really, when we have a lot of snow, it stays colder later. It doesn't melt and get down in the reservoir till late July or sometimes even August. And so, but we hope, right now, it'll be any early melting we'll get down here. And I also, you guys all understand, I think, and what we confirmed this, we haven't got, maybe you have the right date, Middle Rio Grande's gonna start diverting in March, right?
Right, March the 6th. That's what I heard.
They're gonna do a step,
Yeah, well, just like we do,
Diversion.
yeah. Everybody has for demand. But when's their first day that they're gonna put water in their canals? March
I think
6th?
in March.
And Belen, they're gonna do that in Belen, and then they move to Socorro, and then they'll come back up north.
So that, we'll see that in
Yeah,
the
in the-
production.
Well, that's good, because you don't want to show them that other part of the chart. I got excited when I saw that 50% exceeded. Wow, they're expecting
So
double.
there's a footnote on that, in addition to the being wrong 90% of the time, is that it is a simulated, it doesn't take into account what we just talked about, diversions upstream.
Right.
And they don't estimate the consumptive use and other things like that, so it's just sort of a natural flow without, and unintervention, yeah, so so in other words, that's, right off the bat, that number's gonna be less, right, Art?
Gonna be less.
It's gotta be, there's no way that they're gonna add water to it. So,
Right. Now they gotta make their.
unless it snows more and it melts faster, then that's the natural, that's what they do model, that type of
Yeah.
thing. But nobody can predict what the temperature will be, or the snowfall will be in the next 3 months. That's it, we'll make that presentation.
Is that it? On your, let's see, anything with grants and proposals on the?
We do, we change gears, we can do that now if you want. We had talked to you last board meeting about 2 grants that we've been presented. Jay and I've met with Reclamation on those grants. They are willing to entertain us sending them a letter requesting modification. The 2 modifications would be on the first one that was for engineering studies, that we would, as we said last month, that we would try to see if we could modify the budget to focus that entire funding on the Riverside Regulating Reservoir. They were generally, didn't see a problem with that, but of course we have to do a formal process to get that changed, and they reserve the right to review it and have concerns later, which I understand fully, but, so that's good, they said that they would.
That is good, yeah.
It's 15A, yeah, that is, so that's, the 15A is the grant that we'll see here. So
We've got that later on, okay.
Yeah, later on, you wanna do it later, or did you want?
Yeah,
It's up to you guys.
we have it in 15A, the grants,
We're gonna do it on 15A?
that's where they
Might as well
live.
wait till that.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll
We'll wait.
go into all those then.
All right.
So the next one's David's.
All right, David?
Let me see if I can get to his. You can start talking, David, but I'm gonna have to.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We need a Zoom person so that I don't have to talk and try to run the computer.
You're so good at it.
It takes a while, it takes a while for me to get everything queued up.
There we go.
There we go.
So this is one of our photos for our district-wide use permit for El Paso Electric. This is actually going to be Asplund. I'm trimming some trees on the Montoya Branch A.
But there's gonna be a little interruption because I gotta share it, so sorry.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, we have several job sites like that pretty much weekly with El Paso Electric and
And we can
Aspen.
see where the share is.
Ask Johnny, he'll help.
He'll help. It's on his phone.
He's a
Either that or we can
professional.
just keep the attorneys in the dark and Johnny in the dark. There we go. You guys see that? They're shaking their head, yes.
We can hear that. Okay,
I can see it.
okay.
Okay, perfect, there we go.
Yeah, looks good.
Can you change it? Oh, it's not changing.
Oh, is it on,
Yeah, it's on.
on the site?
Maybe.
Okay, this is the beginning of a jack-in board that we had on the Montoya Main on Bird Avenue, it's license 3135. And if you'll go to the next one, there you go. That's where they punched through to the east there of our channel. That's off the left bank there, Bird.
Those are old pictures, aren't they?
This one, actually, this was,
Oh, the other one.
the other one,
Yeah.
that one, no, I took that one here last month. It was here beginning, probably either late December.
Really? With all that vegetation?
Yeah, those trees are the only green ones in the neighborhood. That was the only one, those are the only ones, yeah.
Very good.
Next one now, let's see. This one back to the Franklin Canal at Stevens. So this is gonna be a step-by-step here as they went with their sound wall. You can see the crane there in action, their workers, this is signs for Tex dot. You can see, continue there. There you go, yeah, it starts going up. This is pretty much reaching the completion of this on Franklin.
That's where, and Stevens, where's
Yeah, Stevensburg, that's just upstream from US 54.
Do
we need access
there now to get in there,
We do, we're actually, that paving there, so this is a temporary fence they put in,
Yes.
and this becomes our new fence. And this area is ours, this is our property line starts right here. So
Yes,
this sidewalk is really not a sidewalk, it's part of the fence. It's part, they have to put ballast and for the retaining wall to hold it up in winds.
Right.
And so that's a big concrete foundation that they had to do as part of the design. It just looks like a sidewalk.
Yeah, it looks like a sidewalk, it's actually 8 feet wide. So you could actually drive a pickup truck through it.
can drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna give us a nice gate there. So this, for the first time in 80 years, we'll have access.
Yeah, we've not had access to there. Yeah, there was an old chain link fence that used to be there. That fence has now since been taken down, and so now you can actually drive all the way pretty much to where that sound wall comes to an end. So
Yeah.
you actually have access all the way to our metering bridge.
Pete, have you gone there and looked at it?
No, not big deal.
Okay.
Is that gonna be accessible? I know walking is fine, but for your equipment, are you gonna be able to clean that brush and stuff?
Yeah, actually, now we'll be able to, yeah, before we were not able to get in there and do any kind of maintenance, now we'll actually be able to get in
You can
there.
actually get a tractor through there?
Oh, yeah, that fence has been taken out. The chain link fence on the left hand side.
That's what.
It does, it looks like
It
it's 4 feet.
looks small, yeah, once you're out there.
It's just that that wall, you don't know how big that wall is.
Yeah, the wall's just huge, it's kind of, it sets that, it's about 20 feet from top of the bank to the top of the wall, it's about 20 feet tall.
Yeah, it's a massive wall. I've never seen one, a sound wall that massive.
My question, I have a question, during the design makeup of all that, our property line is in that corner, right, where the vertical meets the horizontal?
Right here.
Yeah, it's right, yeah, right, there, pretty much
So,
where the edge
if
of
they're gonna be encroaching on our property, do we have any say on the design makeups for that? So they could have done it just as easily as flat as versus curved or any way we would want, but I'm not sure we have the dialogue with.
Yeah, actually, that sound wall, the face of that sound wall was placed beyond our property. So it was right at our property line.
But we licensed
Yeah,
yeah, that was we saw that as an improvement. Pete was involved in it. We also got
Okay,
so they replaced the fence. This new 20-foot fence replaced our chain link, so we don't have any maintenance issues there anymore, which we had a lot of issues with that old chain link. And they're putting in, our old gate had been rammed several times by people trying to break it or whatever.
Yes.
And so they're putting a new, large mechanical gate, a very sturdy gate, and all of that we negotiated so they could put their footing on our property.
yeah. So
They put the footing, they got what they wanted. There was also a right-of-way dispute here, and this dispute goes back a long time at this location. I mean, like maybe to the 1920s. And we didn't wanna get into that, so they honored our right, what we said ours was, we honored what we thought theirs was.
So where that wall is, that's basically the official line now?
Yeah, that's what we put in the new contract, that's where we show it. That the wall's theirs and the concrete slab is ours, but that concrete slab is what, 4, 6 feet deep?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, it's, I think it's 4
ATV.
feet deep, so
It's
it's huge.
It's massive, so we can drive, he can drive any equipment he wants over it, it won't hurt it.
Yep.
And that's Jefferson High School down there?
Yeah, if you're looking, that is, what is, I think that's.
It's looking towards the zoo here.
Savannah Elementary School, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
oh,
looking
okay.
towards, yeah, that's
Now you
54.
know.
That's US 54 in the background.
Yeah, that's the school
So
there.
right there, I'm facing, looking towards the Coliseum, in that direction. towards the
Huh.
sun.
Okay, now I know.
Yeah, and like I said, that's not temporary.
That's our metering station, all this has been removed.
All that's been removed.
Well, it's definitely made an improvement.
Yeah, no big time, yes. Yeah, you can see those trees, all that over.
And then once
over
Pete has a chance, he'll go in and remove all this. We never could get to this spot before, this is the first time we can get to this. There's a big sand.
Was it restricting a lot of our water flow at a time or not?
I think it is, that probably at times it was.
It was,
There's
it was,
a bit of
yeah,
that.
the downstream side, because City of El Paso would go in there and just clean under the bridge. But a lot of that other stuff, we just couldn't get in there. Couldn't get an excavator in there or anything else.
You don't have a picture of it, David?
I have some, but I'd have to switch.
I have some of the culvert.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to find it.
Okay. Yeah, so this is gonna be a big plus for us.
I lost control of it, whatever I did. I gotta get back soon.
Oh, you guys are done, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, you can see right there, yeah, there's that temporary fence that went up, so that's.
There we go.
There we go, there we go. So you can see, yeah, everything towards the right bank there. We've got.
Man, these, how many megapixels are these pictures? How far can we do it?
Much resolution.
I turned down the camera, so I don't take up too much space.
But yeah, see, that whole thing, that's been there since the first day I started.
It's been,
I think it's been there since the 50s. What do you think, Robert?
I think we knocked it down once or twice, don't we? Yeah. We knocked it down, but it grows.
Yeah, no, we've loaded before and stuff, or cleaned or burned or whatever back in the old days, but this sandbar, we just had, it's really hard to get to. So that'll be nice. Now the city can keep it clean for us. It's their bridge, so they're supposed to keep it clean. Okay, sorry.
There we go. This is license 3181. This is the Riverside Canal. This is going to be for the new Bustamante treatment plant expansion. I'll go to the next slide out.
Those columns there for the bridge.
Yeah, the drill shafts for the new bridge. There you go. So there's the drilling machine. We've got the boom truck there that's moving the cages.
I guess they're worried about our soil.
They're 60 footers, yes, sir. They're 60 footers, yes, sir.
So in the future, we can build a skyscraper at that location.
I think, and they bring equipment over it for heavy loads, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
It'll be
18
ready
meters. Yeah, all the 18 meters coming in.
That is incredible. Wow. I would have thought 20 feet would have been.
They were planning on a 60.
Yeah, and the abundance are just impressive.
It's a very conservative engineering.
Yeah. Very, I think we could have an overpass and everything.
anywhere.
Do it right first. There we go. Yeah, and that's the lower portion of the abutments that were poured here about a week ago, a little over a week ago. This is, there we go. That's the new road that's gonna actually, that's gonna butt to the abutments themselves. So that'll be the roadway coming from the direction of Pan American.
Let me, just so the board understands, and of course, the licensing, now I'm getting out of licensing with Jay, so I'm speaking for Jay, but he'll take care of it, but he'll appreciate it, is that, you know, one of the things that we get a lot of criticism is that it takes a long time for us to go from proposal to final product. It's not, we're not slowing the process down. We obviously have a queue, but we can't just drop everything to take somebody. But this one, the city did, and their engineers were very responsive, and this thing's going from application to finished construction in 6 months.
Wow.
And this is a big job. So if they want to do it in a timely manner, we accommodate them and we can do it. Our problem is why some projects get delayed sometimes years is because when we write a deficiency letter, they don't respond to it. It's not because we're slowing the project down, it's because for whatever reason, the user doesn't want to do what we ask them to do. In this case, and David was involved, and Jay was involved, he started, we did, they were very responsive, right?
Yes.
So we sent them a deficiency letter. It's not to say they didn't get quite a few of them, because they did, because they wanted things changed, but within a week or two, they have revised drawings to us. So our system does handle this rapid pace type construction. And this is a multi-million-dollar job, right?
Yes,
It's
yes,
not a
it is.
small job. But the city it was very important to the city to get this done, and they told their engineers, and engineers got us responses right away. And Jay stayed on top of it, he finished it up here, in February, or in January, right?
January, right.
And we're already halfway done with construction. So-
Yeah, the contractor was mobilized, or trying to mobilize right before Christmas. Hold on.
Yeah, they were ready,
Yeah.
Christmas Eve, yeah, they're ready Christmas Eve to start working. And then, this is license 3183, this is actually the south side feeder, just downstream from Loop 375. We had a 24-inch casing go in, perpendicular to the bank, you can see right there, there's an old wooden bridge there, on the roadway itself. So yeah, that was the excavation prior to the pipe going in, that was the day that they welded the pipe together.
So that's a casing, the actual pipe's PVC, and it goes inside of it, so that's gonna be welded together, dropped into the hole. I guess you'll get a better picture probably.
Yeah, you'll see it on the next one. Yeah, let's see. Okay, next one, there we go. There we go, so you can see, yeah, just the length that they had to go to set that pipe in.
And just, to Dave's credit, so we have a minimum clearance on these type things of 4 feet from our design invert to there. It's a standard design specification. And in this case, they installed it with about 2 feet of clearance, right?
Yes, yeah, upon initial inspection, when I first got out there that day, they used the incorrect control point, so they were actually 2 feet above what they should have been. So when I got out there, the brass cap that's actually in that check structure that's just upstream from right there where the first photo that I took, there's an actual stand brass cap there that I'm able to verify the exact top of elevation of that
And you
casing.
could,
So that's when I had them remove the casing,
Yeah,
dig
take
it
it
out,
off.
and place it at the correct elevation. So it actually, I did lay them, not very long ago, but it was,
Anyways, they
it was
were-
good catching off parts.
and you could just look at it and see, I mean, even I could tell the difference between 2 and 4.
Sure.
Yes,
So
yes.
they should have known when they did it that they had the wrong one. But anyways, they get into the El Paso Water Project, city project, and we told them they had to remove the whole thing and re-excavate the ditch and put it all back together, so they did it.
So when do they put the PVC inside of that thing, you said?
I don't know, that's the last thing they
Yeah,
did.
it's
the
already
last thing.
inserted.
Yes,
Yeah,
carried in line.
it's been inserted at this point.
It is.
Oh, it's already
Yeah,
inserted.
it's already- yeah, this was the day they were actually just placing casing. About a week later, they inserted the pipe through there and made the connection to the existing water line.
Huh.
You can see there you go, that's about a day later.
And the big steel casing is just to protect the.
Correct, to protect the water line.
If
What's that schedule, what?
We're talking, that's, I think, half-inch thickness on that.
It's 80,
So it's
it's
80
80.
right now.
Oh,
If there's a break in that water line, George, so if there's a break under the canal, it'll stay within the casing and exit outside the district's right of way, so we don't have a breach in our facility. If the pond's in the middle of the channel, it'll pond, and we'll have a breach in the channel, so if it does break inside, it'll come out of the casing on either side, and that's outside our right of way, and it'll start gushing out. So it won't jeopardize the structural integrity of the canal.
yeah, that's what I was getting at. Doesn't seem like you have any problems.
Well, we do that for both sewer and water, and then the only one we allow HDPE casings has been, or PVC casings has been like fiber optics and things like that. They don't have any fluid. And we always want to hit something besides the utility. We want something around the utility. Sometimes some of these that are, it's under discussion, I don't know what this one was, we go ahead and 2-sack it or 2 also, right? So Pete will hit the 2-sack before it.
Correct, yeah, this one did not have 2 sack, it was,
Yeah, because it's such a
Franklin
heavy
boat.
pipe.
If it's shallower than 4 feet, we typically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then they put a magnetic, well, you don't need one with a pipe that big, but they'll put, on the PVCs, they put magnetic tape over the top so we can detect it. Well, they physically see the tape when we hit it, or make it easy to detect with utility locator. So we tried to armor all our, the only ones we hit now are ones that are from back in the pre-1980s, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, ones that we find by surprise.
And we typically require whatever depth they're going from the canal banks, obviously typically lower than 4 feet below the invert. We ask them to extend that casing outside of the district's right of way, so when they do go down to excavate and find the boring, you know, we have a 45-degree or 35 to 45-degree angle. So whatever depth they're at, they're extending outside, so when they excavate to make the connection, it doesn't jeopardize the canal banks. So they've been pretty cooperative. I mean, they don't have to outside the district right away, but it behooves them as well. If the canal falls, it's gonna jeopardize and halt their construction, so it's been working out.
The only other one we didn't have pictures, just happened this morning, is on, we had been working with the city of Socorro to get a bridge built at Bovee and Franklin here on Texas 20. And it was a very tight schedule, and we had actually done a kickoff meeting, a mobilization back in December.
Yes,
Early December, where we were assured that they had mobilization and authorizations, and that this was all gonna happen. So we started the project. First was Texas Gas to come in, El Paso Electric, and so we were working with those and got those done. So now is time for the bridge people to come in, and it's all one system, you know, they're disturbing, it's a disturbed earth project, which not a boring, so the whole area is being dug up, just the nature of it, so many utilities. And we were advised today that the bridge construction people couldn't mobilize, right?
Right. I guess they haven't come to an agreement. I guess TxDOT and the city of Socorro, as far as a commencement date and authorization to work at J.C. Talamita. And I spoke with the contractor, David, and I this morning, and yeah, with the 2 month, they need to be out by April 15th, and that's not going to be possible with the schedule for construction. So we're going to send some literature or an email to the city of Socorro today that they to plan on mobilizing after the irrigation season.
So
Problem.
the damage, so they were gonna line with reinforced steel and concrete the whole area when they were done after the bridge went in. And because they've done open cuts now, the district will go in and shotcrete about 100 feet of it. It'll be a fairly thin shotcrete, just a temporary thing until next year, to make sure we don't lose from the open cuts there. But, you know, we want you guys to know that David and I, and Jay was even involved, that was when he had their contract, was that we had gotten every assurance and made sure everything was done, and that somehow, I guess they changed some personnel or something.
I don't know.
We
Yeah,
don't know, but, so.
coordination wasn't accomplished, I guess. I don't know, so it was on their end.
Whatever they assured us of at the kickoff meeting didn't come to be, and so we, you know, that's why our licenses protect us. We have an option in that, of sending a letter saying, no, we're gonna vacate you. Because we don't think they can possibly get, the bridge is pretty complicated, they can get it done in 2 months. And they agree with us, right?
Right, the contractor this morning said that his schedule is longer than 2 months, so they're not gonna mobilize. And then we're gonna go to Shotcrete and just wherever the cuts occurred in Franklin, and we will be sending a bill to the licensee, which is the city of Socorro, for that work that we'll be doing Pete and the Shotcrete crew.
And then we'll mothball that for the year, and then they'll pick it up in November.
Yeah, better luck next time.
Right.
That's it for us.
That's all I
Is
got.
that it? All right,
That's it.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, thank you,
Thanks,
Dave.
Dave.
Are we ready for Pete?
We are.
Let's see what time, 10:15, everybody all right? Let's go. Pete, we like pictures.
There you go, I got you some pictures. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me start off with saying that we are doing some work on our wells. We've done 15 wells already. We are adjusting valves on the motors and replacing gaskets and anything else we find with them. We're doing the repairs, trying to get them ready just in case we need them this water season. So this maintenance actually needs to be done every 2,000 hours, so we've exceeded the 2,000 hours. So far, we haven't found any major problems. So
I tell you, that sounds like a farmer doing his maintenance on
keep our fingers crossed that it remains that way. Okay, so,
That's yours, well, I'm just trying to share it, although I'm sorry.
okay, let me know when you're ready.
Pete, have you canvassed the wells or anything to check them, see if they're pretty good still?
We have some of them, Larry, and we usually don't run cameras down them until we start running into some type of problem, either loss of production or something of that nature. We just lost one here last year that we had to abandon, and so we do. The only catch to that is that we gotta be very careful, because sometimes we'll get that camera caught down there if it's collapsed, and we just lost the camera.
But the casings look like they're holding up this.
Yes, there's a couple of casings that I would like to replace, but just with the price of pipe right now, and I talked to Joey here, and they can't seem to find any used pipe. So everything is new, and it is very, very pricey. But I think it'd probably be smart, maybe do one or two, you know, with what we budgeted to replace some of those casings to keep them still going before we lose them.
For PVC or steel?
No, they're steel.
Yeah, we can't, I don't, PVC destroys.
How many wells we got, Peter?
We got a total of 61.
Well, that's inside the steel, and it's small.
Well, even the fuse pipe, I mean, the 1 inch.
Yeah, if it's 1 inch, but still, over time it creeps.
Yeah.
So here you'll see the construction of some head walls being built in Fabens. We actually started this so this picture might have been a little familiar from last month. But we're about maybe 4 head walls to be completed, with our goal of having at least 5 head walls in stock for whenever it's needed. 3 of those head walls were already spoken for, so one of them going up to the Guadalupe, the constituent there has already paid for it. So we're just waiting for a window for Robert to give me the Guadalupe so I can go do the install. And then we got 2 of those head walls that we built for the Socorro ponds. So we'll be placing those 2 on the discharge from the ponds into the riverside. That's a 24. So what we're doing is we're making sure that we got 5 of each size, which is 12s, 18s, 24s, 30s, 36, and anything above 36, we just do it as a upon demand.
Wow.
Because it's not very often that we're having to replace those.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So a lot of that plywood that you all saw on that $500 report was for this. What we've done is we went ahead and, I don't know if you saw, but we coated them with oil, and we're pairing them up. That way we can reuse them again when we need to do it.
That's corrugated pipe.
That is corrugated, yeah, it's
Is that-
aluminized pipe.
Galvanized, is that, we were having problems with the rusting, did that ever improve, or is that?
Yeah, the
Or is that
problem,
gonna be the problem forever?
no, well, I mean, they will corrode, but the problem we were having back then is that the gauge on the pipe was very thin. They were using 16 gauge pipe, which
Makes
we
a
do
big
not
difference.
like to use.
Yeah,
We use nothing less than a 12 gauge pipe.
okay, so that makes a big difference.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
One thing that's been kind of kicking us in the butt is whenever they put the ammonia, like in the trees, directly in front of the turnout, that'll lead up that pipe pretty quick. Okay, this is a bridge that we're doing over by the Tornillo area. This is the Tornillo Canal. This used to be an old wooden bridge, and I think, Art, you've got experience with these bridges here, so. So basically what we did over there downstream by your place, we're doing the same thing here. We're dropping a 90-inch pipe. This is all being funded by the farmer that requested it. So the 90-inch has been placed. It has been two-sacked, so he can run his equipment over the top. And it has been backfilled. And right now, we're working on the upstream and downstream side to shotcrete 20 feet above the pipe itself. That way we avoid any kind of erosion around the pipe. The problem we're running into is on the downstream side, we got two turnouts right against the pipe. So those walls, we're always having to make them upright. And then this is just downstream from where the pipe's going in. So I went ahead and took advantage of the canal being dry, and you can see the amount of spoil that's coming out of that Tornillo Canal. This is downstream from where the pipe's at, and that's on the upstream side of where the pipe's at. You can see the amounts of dirt over on the right-hand side. This is the Montoya main up there by, above Mulberry. Where we're continuing with the grant that was given to us. This is from the A heading, we're going down to approximately, let's say, pretty close to about 1,000 feet downstream from Mulberry, up to the Lincoln check there. So here we're narrowing it down, we're getting it shaped. This is still the upstream side of Mulberry.
Is that one gonna be finished before the water gets here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then last meeting, we had an issue that was including to continue on to Lindbergh Street, wasn't there?
That was this one here. Yes, that's, I think that's part of the grant that Al and Jay were speaking about a little earlier. That we were gonna find a different location for it. So that's still the Montoya. This is right there, you can see that's actually standing right there in Mulberry. So this has been a little bit slow because I've just basically had most of our equipment over the ponds. But as I was able to break free another excavator just this week. So by next month, you're gonna see a lot of improvement here. You're really gonna see it moving along.
Oh, that's very nice.
This is the Riverside Canal. This is also part of a grant. Actually, I believe this one was due on 2024, Jay? Is that what I saw? So it was due on 2024. This project here will be completed today.
All right.
We're doing the last two trucks this morning. They should be done already. Then all we need to do is go back in there, remove the formwork, and remove the tapacos that we put on the upstream side and the downstream side so we can get the dump trucks and the cement trucks all working on this side. So all the walls are done, we're just finishing up on the floor today. We lacked about 2 trucks this month.
So how'd the steel delivery, was that timely, or did they slow
Yeah,
down?
well, actually, Al, this was part of the steel that we ordered since last year,
So
because we started this project since last year, so that helped a lot because it didn't slow us down at all.
Okay.
We were able to go in there and, I mean, it moved just like clockwork.
Last week, it was half price last year.
How much more do we got on that left to do after this?
The whole canal? Yeah. Oh, 20 miles.
Well, yeah, we've got 5 left, and then, 15 to pavement.
Yeah, this ends right there, right about 1,000 feet past Ding Dinger, and we still got to go over the whole wall.
That's about 5 going on, and
15.
15.
40 million.
Pocket change up there.
So here you see the sides are already done. Now this is the turnout that we installed at the Partidor. This is actually what's going to bring water into the ponds. Okay, this has been done. This is where the 2 sack went in for the equipment.
Miguel was asking you.
Yes, this section has been done, and here is where we're actually digging out the channel for the canal. We go in there first with the excavator and just dig out pretty much a box, just square out. Then you got the grade all that comes back in here, and then he does all the shaping for me. You can see here, and we should be done here with the shaping. I'm thinking if we're not done with it by next week, it will be very close.
That remains earthen. It's a temporary canal.
That's how it's looking after the grade all goes through there and shapes it.
Pretty good operator to do that.
Jaime, Albert?
Best I got?
Yeah.
He's the best I got.
I've seen him work and he's pretty talented.
Yep.
So this section here is where it actually goes into the ponds. Right now, we've already set the pipe in to continue the ditch bank all the way through. And the head wall is being built as we speak. We've already done the footing on it, so they're starting to build walls. Once we drop the pipe, part of that canal will be shotcreted to keep any kind of erosions. And then
We
this
have
is
an
the,
elevation drop there. It's a dead level canal, so we can control the flow at the reservoir, so they don't have to drive all the way back up to the head each.
right. So this is the section right by the tail end where we spent the last night. So I had to go out there and rent that little compactor, one I got's a little bit too big. There you'll see the footings going in for the gate, for the discharges going into the ponds. And we backfilled the section that we had to trench out to put all of our telemetry back and, get our gates back operational. There it is already with water in the system. The water's running down to the Franklin feeder.
So the second gate that we didn't install at the head wall because we didn't need the capacity, we utilized that gate at the other end.
At the tail end, yes, sir.
Okay. That's where that circle's there, you're gonna put two?
It's designed for two when
Two.
when there's a pumping plant, so the way pumping plants work is you have to lower the approach velocity as low as you possibly can get it. But we're using it as a canal out inlet now, so you can have higher velocities in it. And so about double, so we only needed one to get the same flow that we'll have. Once we put pumps in there, then we'll have to open up the second one.
And this is a 60-inch turnout, so it's gonna pull some water. It's a 60-inch turnout.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, we want to be able, I think, Robert, we do decide about our peak sewage is about 100 CFS, right?
80 out at the very peak.
CFS, so what's that, one, about 160
Bigger peak.
feet.
yeah, so at the same time, we're in there removing the additional spoil that we piled up by getting the sand out from the bottom part of the ponds. And so right now, I've got all our dump trucks out there, so I'm hoping to have that done by next week also.
And then we missed the effluent period, but we'll, as soon as Robert tells us he's got excess water, we'll put water in it.
No, I won't.
He's not gonna turn it.
No, we figure that's gonna be sometime in July, August, right?
We'll be able to put water in, we're just not gonna be able to get it out. 'Cause I'm still working on the riverside part of it.
Yeah.
I still gotta cut some concrete out and kind of lower the,
Well, he's using
The
all
box
the water right
areas.
now, so we don't have any
Yeah.
water to use, so. We might be able to run a well, but we don't wanna, we'll just wait.
Okay, all right.
you guys got for me?
We're gonna test the canal.
Thanks,
Then we'll take our
very
next
good.
water.
Okay, thanks guys.
All right, thank you, Pete. Ah. El que sigue, here he comes.
15 inches. El que quiere más agua.
Here comes 4 foot.
I guess we started there, we turned flow a little earlier than we normally do. We normally start around the 20th of February. This year we started a little bit earlier. We got out there, started hustling a lot of farmers to take the water a little earlier. A lot of them weren't ready, but it kicked in pretty good as of today, which today is the first day we have officially 1 week of running water. And that week that we did with the weeds and stuff, we still covered 1,200 acres. And we got on the board, we're working another 1,200 acres. We already got 8,000 acres in there, ready for water. Some of the bigger farmers haven't called for water, but we're still staying off the 2 inches. I think we can stay off the 2 inches until the 20th. That's when I start seeing a lot of the cotton people are already in water, but believe it or not, for about the 20th of February. And they're trying to hustle up as much cotton ground as they can. But, I say, hey guys, once we go to 2 inches, you're not gonna be able to water what you want to water. I said, you mean I can't do 1,000? No, I can do 400. And that's where the fight starts, but
Yeah.
I said, guys, we're not doing anything different that we've done the past couple of years. He said, you know what census you cover, so why are you doing it? But because the prices are so great.
Right.
But it's working pretty good. And right now, like Pete said earlier, he's still working on a tornillo and we're trading back and forth. You know, you give him a tornillo, I give him the item main. I'm using the item main right now, but everybody in the item main that order water, I think we already pretty well got them out of the way. We're in the Hanson tornillo, we can only go up to check 5 because Pete's working down below. And I think he was hoping to give it to me for this weekend, but no parece, he says. So we'll have other place to go. We can still cover the 216, we can still cover the 131. From there, I think the Hanson, the item will be shut down this weekend. We'll go to Central and we'll cover everybody there. But the acres are there, guys, and if they're coming in, we're trying to get them as fast as possible. And, you know, you want water for March, I think that's gonna be pretty hard because a lot of the cotton ground that's gonna be out there, and still alfalfa, I mean, a lot of pecans still want water. But I think, and these things, the pecans are watering now, they won't be calling back for water until April. And then we'll get past February and March, and we'll see what happens in April. But I think